So picture this, you're on a dream vacation, you're in Italy, and you just had a great day in port, and you head back to the cruise port, and there's the ship, but there's no gangplank to get back on, and you're told you just missed the ship. So this recently happened to a couple that was on the MSC Splendida, and yeah, they were in Italy, in Bari, and they got back to the cruise port, and they were late for their time to get back, and the gangplanks had been raised on the cruise ship. But the ship was still there. It wasn't 50 feet away yet. It was still right there, not quite yet pulling away. And apparently it was filmed, I can't show it, copyright laws and everything, but a TikTok person was filming it, and you could actually hear the man calling to the crew members, asking for the captain, yelling and pleading for the captain to let them back on the ship. You know, come on, captain, you know you can do it. You can do it if you want to. You don't have to pull away. You can lower the gangplanks. Well, the captain didn't lower the gangplanks, and they sailed away. And there's been a lot of talk over, well, come on, the captain was still there. He should have stopped the procedure for disembarkation, and they should have just lowered the gangplanks and let that couple back on. It's going to cost them, possibly thousands of dollars now. They're stuck in a place with maybe their passports aren't with them yet. Well, they probably are. MSC would have left them at the dock for them. However, there's also the flip side there. Everyone's saying, look, you have a time to get back, and there's a little bit of a window there if you're late, but obviously they were later than they should have been, and they didn't get back to port. It's their own fault. Now, lots of things can happen, right? When you're on a cruise, you can just lose track of time. A taxi can be delayed in traffic, which is why it's always good to plan to be back. If your scheduled time is, say, 5 o'clock, you have to be back on the ship at 5 o'clock. Always plan to be back around 4 o'clock, 3:30, that kind of thing. Give yourself some leeway if something happens on the way back. Oh, my taxi got a flat tire, he's calling another taxi, and then we'll get back. An hour will cover that time. But some people just, they cut it really, really close. They want to do so much in port, and they want to just, or they get caught up in shopping. How many times do I see people getting caught up in shopping, and next thing you know, they turn around and they go, oh my goodness, the ship is leaving, and they have to head back. So a lot of people also don't understand that cruise ships are on a schedule, and they pay for their time in port. Every hour they're in port, they're paying for money for it. If they stay an extra time, they're paying for it. If they miss their window for departure, they pay for another departure. There's more money involved than just simply stopping what they're doing, pulling back up to the shore, and lowering a gangplank, letting people on. There's a lot of finances involved as well. Now, if the people who were late getting back to the ship were willing to cover those costs, I'm quite sure more ships would stop and let them on. But who's going to cover the costs if it's like $15,000 more? I don't think I am. I think I'll take my chances on a new flight and a new hotel for $15,000. But a lot of people just assume, no, the captain was just being a jerk and he didn't pull back in. No, the captain has times that he has to do. The port has times that you have to leave at. Plus, there are tide considerations in a lot of ports where you cannot leave during certain times because the tide is too low. So if you miss your window to leave, you could be stuck there for another 12 hours overnight waiting for the tide to change. So there's a lot of considerations in there. It's not just a matter of, oh, let's just back up and do it. Now, another thing is it is heartbreaking when you see people miss their cruise and they're just begging to get back on the ship, but it really falls down to ourselves, right? It's our responsibility to get back to the ship, which is one of those reasons I tell people, yes, you can save some money when you book shore excursions on your own. You can get off and do hop-on, hop-off buses. And that's not, it's much cheaper. However, you do get guaranteed that the ship will wait for you if you book a cruise ship shore excursion, or they will get you to the cruise ship if the ship has to leave and you're not back yet. Where if you booked it through somebody else, not through the cruise line, you're on your own if something happens. Which is why it is a risk, but normally you're okay. Many people don't book cruise ship shore excursions because they can be very, very expensive. But it's the ones that, like this couple, who decided to do something on their own, and then were late getting back to the ship. And they're just begging the captain, please captain, you can do it, turn around. You can do it if you want to, you know you can, come on, be an upstanding guy. Well, the captain's there saying, me being an upstanding guy is gonna cost me $15,000. How about you be an upstanding guy and be on time? So yeah, I have never missed a cruise ship boarding time in my life. Have I been late? Yes. But I've been on a shore excursion or something that happened that there was a reason to be late. For instance, the only road into a cruise port was closed because of a car accident. Well, there was like 400 of us lined up in buses getting back to the cruise ship. So the cruise ship waited for us. That was an exception to the rule. Even the ones who were not booked through the cruise line were behind with the ones that did book through the cruise line. So everybody was okay. And if I get off and get on my own, I am back at that cruise ship usually about 2 hours before the cruise ship sets sail. I don't like cutting it close. I don't like taking chances. And so many people who travel with me have seen that. I am that guy who's there early, and I'm that guy, look at me at Broadway shows. I'm that guy who's there 45 minutes, an hour early to get my seat. I don't mind doing that. I'd rather be early than late. And especially getting back to the cruise ship, I'd rather be early than watching the cruise ship sail away without me on it.